Καλημέρα σε όλους, καλώς ήρθατε.
Good morning and welcome.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ που βρίσκεστε μαζί μας σήμερα.
Thank you for being here with us today. If I'm not mistaken, many of you were here about 6 months ago, in October 2013, when we inaugurated the Visitors Center. We had with us Agis Mourelatos and Spiros Yotakis, the two architecture students, the plan of which had been selected by Renzokan himself after the national competition that the Stavros Niarchos Foundation had announced concerning the Visitors Center. The Visitors Center is a temporary construction that will be in operation until the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center is in operation. We will review progress today of the last 6 months, and we will present the program of cultural and educational activities to be hosted in the Visitors Center. We have Eli Andriopoulou together with us, the Administrative Director of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, Mr. Yannis Trochopoulos, Managing Director of the Cultural Center, and Mr. Panos Papoulias, in charge of the operations of the Visitors Center. Ms. Eli Andriopoulou. Good afternoon and welcome to the Visitors Center at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center. We have representatives today from the National Library and the National Opera, the two organizations which will be the pillars of the future center and who have contributed greatly to the program of the Visitors Center. We have Mr. Yannis Tsimboglou, the new director of the National Library, and from the National Opera, Mr. Louras and Ms. Nomikou. It's our great pleasure to present you today the new program of the Visitors Center. We will, of course, first review progress until today. Just before that, a few words on the progress of the project in general. As you can see right behind me, from a construction point of view, we are moving forward rapidly. By June, we will have completed the basic structure of the buildings, and during May, we will start planting the park, the Stavros Niarchos Park. The construction will have been completed during 2016, when it will be handed over to the Greek state. Right now, workers are more than 1,100 on the construction site. They will reach 1,600 as we move forward. With regard to the preparations with the three organizations, the National Library, the National Opera, and the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center SA, all three organizations right now are preparing their analytical plans for their transfer and operation in the new premises, which will be completed during 2014. We also have the monthly meetings of the government committee, consisting of representatives of these three organizations, the relevant ministries, the Prime Minister's office, and the Mayor of Kalithea, the jurisdictions to which we belong. The purpose of this committee is to coordinate actions of all stakeholders in order to secure the optimal operation of the cultural center in the future. As most of you know, the Visitors Center opened in October 2013 with three objectives: to become a focal point from which citizens can monitor the progress of the construction. We are in a prominent position, as you can see. The second objective is to assure information for the public, as well as interaction before we open our doors. And the third objective is to host educational and cultural programs, which will lead us up to the programs to be hosted by the Cultural Center. The Visitors Center is open from morning to the evening, Tuesday to Sunday. There's a weekly plan, including visits for the general public, who will be guided to the permanent exhibition and receive information on the organizations and their programs. We provide for school visits on a daily basis, participating to educational programs on opera, reading and books, the environmental aspects, as well as the construction site per se. We offer free bus tours on the construction site every Sunday, open to everyone, and there's a weekly educational and cultural program to be presented in detail by Mr. Papoulias in a few moments. Since last October until today, we have received 14,000 visits, including 2,700 pupils and students from primary schools and high schools, as well as 1,300 citizens who have boarded the guided bus tours on the construction site. We have organized about 50 such visits. We're delighted because since the first months of our operation, we witnessed a great interest by Greeks and foreign tourists alike for the Visitors Center. We are encouraged by the fact that people dedicate not just some of their time, but they share views and questions. And most particularly, pupils and students, they share with us their dreams and vision about the future of the cultural center. These expectations fill us with joy and responsibility. And this encourages all three organizations to stand up to these expectations. Thank you very much. Mr. Panos Papoulias will present the program of the Visitors Center in detail. Good morning, welcome to the Visitors Center. We have met with some of you a few months ago, about 6 to 7 months ago when we opened. We had then discussed the objectives of the center, its design and some other relevant matters. Today I will present the program of the Visitors Center. This is a unique program, I must say. Unique in the sense that each activity of the Visitors Center is directly linked to the emerging landscape right behind me. In other words, this is a tailor-made program that you will not find elsewhere. It is directly created for the Visitors Center, taking into account the features of this small space, the profile of the future program of the future center, taking into account the organizations that will fill this place with life after 2016. For 2014, we adopted 5 axes. Axis 1, access to different groups, families, teenagers, children, senior citizens, teachers, specific professions, groups with disabilities, readers, groups. We have programs and activities for all these groups. It is amazing, I must say, how much has been squeezed in this small space, targeted to cater for the needs of all these groups. Even our staff is surprised occasionally on the achievements of these last 6 months. Access 2, we propose workshops to enhance communication with special target groups of special interests. Axis 3, we are open to ideas and we support creativity. Apart from the workshops, we work with various agencies and experts in various fields. They adapt their workshops and their lectures or seminars to the Phaleron area. Axis 4, we communicate and work intensively with our partners, the National Opera and the National Library, to present inspired programs and events, such as the flagship event, the pocket concerts of the National Opera, the pocket concerts with canon 2 voices, are offered for free. They're simple events against the background of the construction site, where music and opera are linked with the future opera house. The next axis is the various thematic units. Each month is dedicated to a different concept, metaphorically or literally, always linked with the main characteristics of the cultural center. For example, May is dedicated to the view. As I said, yes, May is dedicated to view, the concept of view. We have multi-sensory workshops for the visually impaired on maps and imaging experimentation, a seminar for teachers on illustrated books, a seminar on the construction of the hill, providing an infinite view, and as always we have the pocket concert against the background of the construction site of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center. This also covers the game I Collect experiences designed by Chara Amarandidou, whereby children are invited to visit us again and again, which will have a multiplier effect. The program is designed, of course, for individual visitors, but also for schools and other agencies. We propose development activities which will have a multiplying effect when children go back home or at school. We have introduced 12 units linked to the operation of the center. These thematic units are transparency, the view, materials, collection, rhythm, history, numbers, passages, scale, light, magic, and pause. Pause, for example, will be implemented during the month of August, which is the summer pause for everyone. This is open to interpretation. It shapes future experienced visitors and not just consumers of cultural events. The game I Collect experiences aims at collecting materials for pedagogical purposes. This is again linked with the thematic units, and it is at the disposal of families and children visiting the center. At the same time, it is used during school visits and during the workshops on Sundays. Up until now, we have two games. We have putting history in order, where children are invited to put events, historical events, in order on the magnetic board of the center, creating a timeline. This mainly addresses older pupils and students. Another game is when words meet pictures. It's magic. This was during the Magic Month. It relates to phrases from various pages where children interweave words with pictures. We also have going up and down stairs in literature. In the said workshop, some sites are repeated every month with different content depending on the month. Apart from the pocket concerts, once or more per month, teenagers or adults with visual impairments meet and set up a construction site of pictures, words and tastes based on books, concepts, words and content from books. These multisensory workshops are implemented by Fotis Leopotomos, visual artist, and Fotis Agonas, an architect, supported by Natasha Kalou for the purpose of communication. In the Visitors Center, we have also set up a series of seminars for students and professionals, aiming mainly at the technical aspects of construction. On April 29th, we have the first seminar for civil engineers on the construction of the hill, with Dia Andrikopoulou.
Επίσης, κάθε μήνα πραγματοποιείται ένα τουλάχιστον σεμινάριο που
Also,
αφορά
every
εκπαιδευτικούς
month
όλων των
we set up
βαθμίδων.
a seminar for teachers on all levels. The seminars aim at creating a dialogue with the trainers and educators community, raising new issues and questions.
Ιστορία δεν είναι μόνο μάθημα, η διαχείριση του παρελθόντος μέσα από
History is not just another course managing the past through cultural programs. This is another program with Maria Angelidou, an author and translator, under the thematic unit of history. Then on May 23rd, we'll explore the concept of view in illustrated books. Finally, as Mrs. Angelidou said, there are guided tours starting from the Visitors Center and who offer unique access to the construction site. It's open to the public at large, to students, to specific professions who are informed on best practices adopted during the construction phase. From May to October, citizens from all over Athens participating in the journey to the cultural center participate in these visits. This will be presented by Mr. Stavros in a few moments. Before I conclude, let me thank most particularly Ms. Irini Vokotopoulou, who is in charge of the entire programming at the Visitors Center and who is in charge of most things that are presented today. Chara Amarantidou, Fotis Flevotomos, Fotis Agonesimitas, who work intensively on a series of programs and the design of the material to be used here. And let me say a few words and stress the importance of Xenia Taktikou and Maria Pavlidis and their enthusiasm and commitment for the operation of the cultural center. It's thanks to them that I'm here today and in a position to present the achievements, but also the things we look forward to implement very soon in the cultural center. Thank you. And now Mr. Yannis Trachopoulos has the floor. Good morning from me as well. On October 7th, 2013, in this very space, I was bidding farewell to our guests during the official inauguration of the Visitors Center, saying, all together, we can make it. Some of you may remember that, some others not. However, I will reiterate this today. Yes, all together, we can make it. And have believed in that in order to continue this creative course. Thanks to the great donation of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation back in 2006. This journey will be a long one, and the seeds of marjoram, rosemary, juniper and sage that you can see in the garden and that will be soon planted, all these plants need patience and perseverance to blossom and bear fruit. Today, 6 months after the inauguration of the Visitors Center, it is not just about the construction of the buildings. It is not just about the people who work here. We have with us those in charge of the Visitors Center providing service to our visitors. We have experts and partners who put together all the activities with animators, with artists and creators, and most importantly, the people who follow us and participate. Simple passers by, construction professionals, teachers, educators, pupils, students, young children, people who fill us with energy thanks to their questions and their interests and their commitment. Fellow citizens from around Athens and children from all over Greece. A few months ago, I attended in Peristeri a Don Giovanni performance with the pocket opera of the National Opera. This Saturday, in the context of this program, Journey to the Cultural Center, will receive people from the municipality of Peristeri, continuing the program from my home, to the cultural center. This is the kind of linkage I would like to see in the future, also involving the National Library. It will be a national library that will provide service to everyone and which will bring everyone closer to creativity and reading, which will showcase the wealth of Greek civilization. Personally, I'm delighted that all this is carried out without too much ado, with trust, with confidence, taking into account that our society treads with difficulties, taking away out of the crisis. Let me convey the words of two people who work in the center, as recorded during a discussion I had with them some time ago, thanks to Mr. Stavros. I was born in Athens, but I'm from Meligalas Messinia. I'm married without children. In the past, I worked in the Olympic Metro, in the Olympic projects, in Kalamata, and also in the ring road of Alexandroupolis. I came to the construction site in September 2013. In the beginning, I was very stressed. I wanted to leave. I was shivering when I was going back home. Now things are in order, the situation is much easier. There are many details here, you know. We need precision in the visible concrete. Whenever we strip the formwork, I'm stressed. We also work at great heights. We must be very careful. I can only relax when I go back home. When this is all over, I would like to bring here my wife and walk around. When all this is over, I would like to visit the new library, and it will be the first time I will be visiting a work for which I have worked. I'm from Neo near Volos. I came here to work for this project specifically. In the past I worked as a plumber. I'm now working in the cleaning activities and with security. I know how to pour cement and how I install formwork. I'm delighted to work here. I'm delighted to work in general. Because I was unemployed for 1 year. I found myself when I came to Athens, because work fills me with joy and energy. All those who work for the construction, together with our partners here in the Visitors Center and in the context of the program Journey to the Cultural Center, in cooperation with all the creative forces of the nation, continue a huge effort, an effort that deserves your attention too. Thank you very much.
Αν υπάρχουν ερωτήσεις, θέλετε να
Other
πάνω,
questions?
θέλετε να...
Mr. Trofopoulos, please join me in answering any questions. Could you provide us with some details on the progress of the work in general?
Βασικά, όπως βλέπετε, στο κτίριο της Λυρικής έχει φτάσει περίπου στον 6ο όροφο.
With regard to the National Opera, we are now on the 6th floor.
Μετά όμως υπάρχει να μπει και το στέγαστρο.
Of course,
lighthouse και το
the roof, the lighthouse, has to be added. With regard to the National Library, we are at the 4th floor right now, and we have started building the book tower, which is an internal construction. The parking, well, the basic structure is almost in place, which is the third big building. With regard to the timeline, there are some milestones we have set, and I can tell you that we are moving according to schedule.
Τα αρχαία που έχουν ευρεθεί κατά τη διάρκεια της κατασκευής, μέρος αυτών θα εκτεθούν
part of the antiquities we found during the excavations will be exhibited in a building, which will be the permanent visitors center at the entrance of the future cultural center. From the press center of the municipality of Kalithea. What about the part and the planting? What is the timeline there? Planting will start during the month of May. Depends on the weather, of course. It will take several months. It will not be completed overnight. How many trees? Well, I should know that. 1,200 trees. Trees and bushes.
Τα οποία ήδη υπάρχουν σε
big trees
ακριβώς και θα έρθουν έτοιμα
that we will bring here ready from various nurseries.
Μέχρι το τέλος του 2014. Ναι, αυτό.
Questions with that microphone. Anything else? Any other questions? What about the next activities in the next months? You said, for example, that planting will take place in May. What other important actions will take place during 2014? Well, we will complete the basic structures by July, and we're now working on the roof, which is a critical stage of the construction. It will be covering the National Opera building.
Όταν ολοκληρωθεί τον Ιούλιο ο σκελετός της βιβλιοθήκης,
by July we will have completed the basic structure of the library, and then the path will expand to cover the top of the building.
Οπότε όταν φτάσει και η βιβλιοθήκη
The
να
hill
έχει
is almost complete, so when the library reaches its final height, then the hill will expand to create the green roof. Anything else?
Αν έχουμε τελειώσει, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Θα υπάρξει ένα μικρό γεύμα έξω στο μπαλκόνι.
Since there are no more questions, please join us for a lunch on the veranda. Thank you very much.